listen first, do second. And then once we're fully expanded, I want you to just tighten up your stomach. We're not going to suck in, we're going to tighten up and brace. Think about drawing down and out. And we're going to think about if someone was going to clock you in the stomach, you're going to tighten up and you're bracing for a punch. Okay? Just breathe in. Set the brace. And you should feel a lot of tension in your thumbs when you do that. So relax.
When the air totally expands, then you clench it out.
Yes.
So the air fills it and then...
Yeah, that's going to create more pressure. Isn't that good? And relax. Does anyone feel, have trouble feeling the tightness in their stomach? Good. Did everyone feel like they improved their bracing a little bit in practice that? Did anyone not feel like they improved? Okay. So when you're using a belt or not, so now the breathing is, you can brace without breathing. So Nick does MMA, right? Is he going to hold a brace the whole time when he's fighting? No, he's going to get really tired, right? But if I'm doing a 1 rep max squat, am I going to hold my breath the whole time? Yeah, until the rep's done. So there's a dial when we talk about bracing, it's like a stereo, dial on a stereo. If I'm doing a 1 rep max squat or 1 rep max deadlift, that dial is turned up all the way. If I'm just walking or if I'm fighting, it's going to be more like pulses, or if I'm doing something in between, right? You could breathe behind the brace, but when we're doing a maximal lifting event, a maximal strength event, that you're going to hold the breath the whole time, you're going to hold the brace the whole time. It's not going to be, so depending on the activity level, if I'm doing an 8 rep max squat, for example, I might hold the brace for that rep, and then I may reset the next rep. I'm not going to hold it. If I'm doing a max triple, and I'm only able to hold my breath that long, I might hold my breath for all 3 reps, and hold that brace the whole time. You know, if I'm doing a set of 600 for reps, I don't want to collapse under that kind of weight. If I'm doing the broomstick, do I need to be maximally braced for a broomstick? No, but I should be bracing somewhat. Okay. So the other part about getting a good brace and getting good stability, your stability is going to come from the feet. So we talked about breathing, we talked about bracing, now we're going to talk about creating tension through the ground, and we call this concept rooting. So the more stable a connection I can get with the floor, it's going to be really important. Now if you have really squishy sneakers, you might want to kick your shoes off, you might want to just go in your socks, that's fine. That's up to you. So the first thing that we're going to do is just turn our toes all the way out like this. And I want you to just try to squeeze your glutes. And it should be kind of difficult to squeeze your glutes in this position, but you still should be able to do it. So when I'm completely rotated out like this, it's really hard to create a lot of tension because I can't really get a lot of torque in my hip. So now I want you to get the toe position that you normally squat from. So they might be slightly out, they might be more straight ahead depending on your mobility, and we'll go through that in a second. I want you to watch first and we'll do second. We're going to stamp our feet on the ground. Pretend my hands are my feet for a second. I know that's a little hard to imagine, but pretend these are feet. We're going to drive into the ground, push our big toe into the floor, and we're going to rotate out like this. Your feet are not going to move, but you're trying to rip the ground apart like this. So we're going to stamp and tear the ground apart, and you should feel tension. Now squeeze your butt. From there, hold, and then relax.
So stamp the heels or
big toe, little toe, and heel. So you're pushing through the midfoot. Stamp. Stamp your feet, tear the ground apart. I don't hear people straining. Let's try that one more time. When you get your glutes as tight as you can, you should really feel a lot of tension in your hip. Good. Stamp the ground. Drive your toe into the ground, heel into the ground, and tear the ground apart. And relax. Good. You should feel that in the outer hip. So now for people that, does anyone ever see someone squatting and their knees come in? Does anyone ever see that? Good. So a lot of times, it's a good cue. We'll use the cue, shove your knees out, but if they're not rooting from the ground, they're not going to be able to do that. So it starts from the feet. If I'm already creating all this tension here, it's going to be a lot easier to shove my knees out and spread my groin and keep my hips open. So it starts from the feet, and that will work up the chain, okay? You're going to be a lot tighter. If you're a walked out lifter or if you're a monolift lifter, it doesn't matter. So, but once I'm set, if I walked out, I tried to stand up with the weight, now I'm grounded, now I'm stable, and now I'm going to have more balance. So I'm going to root my feet, I'm going to breathe in, brace, and then I'm going to set my upper back last, and that's, we're gonna get into that in a second.